Hello everyone, Simus here and welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved. As you can see, we have again been joined by an Anki helping us build, and by helping I mean mostly just getting in the way and making grumpy noises. Anyway, I have been doing some work on our lighthouse. As you can see, I went ahead and I replaced all of the gates that were placed the wrong way around here. So basically I think there were 5 gates that were placed backwards. It was really annoying, so that took some finagling, but I did manage to get them flipped around the right way. You'll notice I also went ahead and added a little extra design details, I guess you would call them. I went ahead and surrounded everything with ramps, uh, just because really don't like the way foundations look sometimes, just kind of sitting there being foundations. They're just not that interesting architecturally, so I added some ramps. So once I got that done, I came in here, and you'll see 2 of the gates, I removed the actual gates, and I did walls. That was so I could put the ceiling up. So as you can see, we now have a ceiling, mostly. The corners are kind of an issue. I'm going to make a different part of the roof for that. But for now, I've been working around in here, and as you can see, I started putting some new railings up. I tried messing around with the pillars, doing some different designs, and nothing that I was trying was working. So we're just gonna omit the pillars in this design, and I think the gates look kind of pillory enough that we can get away with it. I wasn't gonna show this part, except that I ran into a kind of an interesting building issue that I thought I would demonstrate for you guys. Because I was putting these railings up. The ones on this side went up just fine, but for some reason on this side, they weren't placing right. And it took some finagling, but I figured out how to place them. So let me just go ahead and open that. And I'm going to demonstrate for you the strangeness of the Ark building system. So ready? So go to place your railing. It's on the fence foundation. As you can see, it says that the railing is obstructed. It'll say it on this side too. So you might be thinking, great, now what do we do? This is the trick. You close the gate and you line up your railing, and for some reason, even though there's a gate going all the way through it, you can now place your railings. So let's go ahead and place those two. And let's open the gate again, and as you can see, I can now place the gates. I have no idea why this works or how it happens, but that is just some more Ark weirdness. So if you guys are trying to do a design like this and you run into that particular problem, that's how you fix it. You just close the gate and place it, and for some reason it it unobstructively obstructs, which is really weird, and something to do with collisions, I'm sure. But anyways, as you can see, we've got our railings up, so we're making some progress. I did go ahead and throw a hatch frame up so I can get up to the top here, so let's go ahead and come right up here. I honestly hadn't planned on making a video with, I redid all the stuff that we messed up on, but I haven't made any progress towards actually crafting the next floor, but I didn't want to not show this part, and actually I think I'm going to have to move this hatch frame. Because I decided at the last second what I want to do, and I think it's going to obstruct. But basically what we're going to do is, because as you can see, this is pretty cool as it is, but it's not really towery. So what we're going to do is place basically a smaller tower on top of this one. And I think to do that, I'm going to have to get rid of this, which is unfortunate, but for all the things that I plan, I have always had a hard time with placing hatch frames and ladders in the worst possible spots. So that's just how that goes. But I thought I would just show that part before I finished it. And then I guess we can do a little bit of building. Let's see. Okay, so I do have some foundations left. I went through most of my supplies, so we don't really have a lot to work with right now, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll have enough for what I want to do. And, okay. So let's go ahead and see, where did the hatch frame do? Now I did learn the cage because this was recommended to me as kind of a torch solution. I did actually try that on the gates, and while it does work, the look wasn't what I wanted, but we are going to use it later. So stay tuned for that. I think it'll look pretty cool, personally. But we're going to make another hatch frame. Can I make any more ladders? Need 4 ladders. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna use some admin commands just to make this go faster than it is, which at the moment is very slow because we're crafting and encumbered. And I probably should have just rode the mammoth over here, but now you get the lovely slow motion view as we run majestically towards our new building. I really do wish they would get some curved structures into the game. I've seen it in the dev kit. They have a whole set of steampunk items that aren't going to be in the game, but there's definitely some curved structures that they have done. So it's obviously not an issue of them not being capable of doing it. They just haven't for some reason. So now what we're going to do is I am going to fly just so that we can actually get up there without losing the materials from the ladders that we now have to demolish. Okay, so now once we're up here, let's see, I started on this side with that, so what we need is another ceiling. Oh, that's sloped. I am going to try to do something with a sloped ceiling. I haven't really decided what yet. It'll probably be a disaster, so I probably won't show that part, but for right now, let's go ahead and boop. Alright, so when I was doing the railings, we started back here, so I'm going to start on the side again. Oops, that was the wrong button, wasn't it? That's okay. So what we want is we do want to kind of be centered, I think. Yeah, so we're going to go here. And we are basically going to attempt to get this to snap. But basically what we're going to do is make a small version of the tower on the top. Assuming, oh, got it. The collisions on this thing are terrible. So let's see. The tricky part is getting these to snap. But you've already seen me struggling with this before. That's why I didn't want to do this part on video, because it's kind of irritating, and you've already seen how annoying it is first. Some of you've probably already also dealt with it firsthand. Ooh, there's that one. And that. Like, this is really aggravating. The effects usually come out nice, but getting it to actually work is just such a pain. Because the snap points are horrible and you can't actually rotate through them. I heard the devs do want to try to get something like that to work. Let's see, does crouching work? I've noticed sometimes if you crouch, you can get it to snap in ways that it wouldn't normally. And by sometimes I mean almost never, but that's pretty typical for the building system on this game. Come on. So it'll snap that way. Why do you not want to snap that way? I think it's because it really wants to snap to the floor. So we have to find that one like 2-degree angle in which it will actually snap where we want it to, which would be straight. See if I can get... Ooh. Wait, was that what we wanted? I can't actually see the thing on this one. Alright, so that was there. So this is definitely part of the issue right here, is that I can't actually see the foundation, is what the issue is. Alright, so that's the ceiling. Alright, so that should be... So I think that one was actually snapping and I screwed it up, so let's go ahead and try that one. Oh, was that it? No, that's the floor again. This is why I didn't want to show this part, but I really wanted to show the thing with the gates because that was actually interesting. I wonder... I'm going to try to fly again and see if maybe getting a little bit of distance will help. Sometimes it does. Alright, so we need to go down here. Okay, so that's half of where I wanted it to snap. Because basically I need this to go straight. So if we go forward a little bit. Now you can easily replicate this kind of building with a bird, but I don't have any birds in this playthrough, and I'm kind of making an executive decision here just to make it easier, which as you can see is not really working at all, but we're trying. Like why this does not want to snap in the one direction that I want it to snap is really, really frustrating. I see you over there, Jaws. Okay. Have to have a shark barrier. Because what we want to do is try to make like a... Basically we want a circle. Oop, lagging. That is always an improvement to the building system. Because it snaps there. But why won't it snap there? Well, I think for now what I'm going to do is make some walls just so we can get a look at what it's going to look like. And I'll probably just fight with that for like 3 hours later. Which is probably what's going to end up happening. You know it is with the way Ark is. Alright, so we're going to put the wall up. And of course it placed backwards. Why wouldn't it? Why would anything place correctly the first time? Alright. So then that goes like that. As you can see, there is clearly some gapping going on here. Unfortunately, you can't really avoid that sort of thing because of how bad the snapping system is. And that's also why I don't like manually rotating the walls, because that actually does cause the gapping. So I'm probably gonna go back and try to fix this later. But you can basically see what we're trying to do is to make a smaller tower in the middle of the big tower. And then have that one go up. But I'm not sure how well this is gonna work, honestly. I may have to do something else if we can't get this to work. I didn't really want to do a square Actually, let me try something. I remember this is something that gonna do. Will that work? No, that's not gonna work. I was kind of hoping putting the walls down would actually make it easier. Oops, sorry. Let me get back on the ground level here. I was really hoping that would help with the snap points, because sometimes if you have like a reference, it'll work better. But see, it wants to snap that way, but it won't snap that way. So like, you can get it to snap in every direction except the one that we want, which is honestly very typical of the game. So I'm actually not sure this is going to work as well as I had wanted if I can't get this to snap the way that it needs to be snapping. Let's see. Can I get it to snap that way? I can't even see where the edge. Okay. Like, this needs to snap to this end here, but it needs to do so in a manner that is straight. Oh, 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 we had it. We had it. Come on. I had it for... There we go. Oh my goodness. Alright, so let's get another wall up. Oh, that one placed correctly. So as you can see, when it's not actually fighting you, it actually goes pretty well. See, and look, this one doesn't even have a gapping issue, but that one does. I think... Oh, I see why. It placed in front of the foundation, not actually on it. That's another weirdness with the building system, is that it will do stuff like that. And actually, what I should do is we're going to put the hatch frame in this tower. And let's see. Well, first we're going to see if we can actually get this one to snap now. It was actually a lot easier to do the ones downstairs with the gates. I'm not sure why. Maybe because we were doing two and not just one, so there's actually like way more snap points for this one. Ooh, is that it? No. Come on, you know you want to. So yeah, if you plan on doing complicated structures in Ark, be very prepared for many, many hours of headaches and frustration. So this did, if it snapped on one side, theoretically it should snap on the other. Theoretically. And it's getting a little bit light out again. So yeah, this side works, so I'm gonna try from this side and just try to continue. Ugh. I wonder if it's that corner. It really wants to snap to the corner, even though there's no reason for it to want to snap to that. Oh, oh, oh. Yes. Alright. Another wall, and we're almost out of materials. But for some reason, this side is snapping perfectly with the walls, and then this side is just a mess. I'm not really sure how that happens, but it does. But now this one should maybe snap. Snap. Come on. You just need to go straight. Straight. In case you're wondering, I do fall off things a lot when I'm building. That was actually the main reason why I've been flying so much, because I'm tired of falling off. Okay, so why will you not? Come on. Theoretically, this really wants to snap in that direction. Oh, did I have it? How is this even obstructed? That can't be obstructed. It's a wall. It's not supposed to work like this. So yeah, this video is basically just me fighting with snap points. Why does that want to snap this way and not the other way? Oop. Okay. So that is for sure the point that we need. But why are you obstructed? Oh, I see why. It's trying to go there, and we need it here. So basically what this is telling you is that I have no idea if this is actually going to work on this side. But if we can get it to work, this is actually going to look pretty good. I'm actually going to try to do something with some slope ceilings on these corners just to kind of obscure this bit. Oops. Well, it's not a building if you don't fall off it. Except I don't have a hatch frame. That looks really bad. We're going to have to do something about that too. Let's see. Did I make a hatch frame? I'm pretty sure I did. Alright. So what we're going to try to do... Alright. So I think... we're probably going to want... Is this even going to be even? It's probably not. Ooh. Alright. Hold on. So this gate here, I have it open because that's actually going to be the main, like, entry. So I think this one is the one that we want. Yeah. So that's where we want the hatch frame, and now I just need to put the ladders up. And I want the ladder to be this way. Oh, that was weird when it just kind of came down on us. Alright, so we got one more. And one more. So I'm not actually going to put a door frame in the smaller tower because we're not going to really need it since we just go this way. Ta-da! And that should, if I can get this to work, it should actually just be a totally enclosed little space. And then, I don't know how tall I'm going to build this yet, but at the top we're going to put some lighting and then it'll be pretty cool looking. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be using an artifact as a light source. You can, but I don't have any herbivores that will really both fit in the cave and are a high enough level to do any damage. I do think that a Packy would be a good choice. They're about raptor size, and raptors can get in caves, but you'd need a higher level one than the one that I have. Which is unfortunate, because if I had a high level one, we would definitely test it. Maybe if I see one while we're hunting Brontos, what I'll do is I'll tame it and we'll do a little cave video. Why does this not want to snap? This wants to snap this way. See? It does not want to snap at all this way. I might have to take that wall out to see if I can get the snap to work. How about you? Are you going to work now? Sometimes if you come back later, it works. Come on, I just want you to snap. This is why this sort of build takes forever, because of all these things that just don't function very well in the game. Come on. Oh, was that it? I swear I saw it snap. Okay, I saw its progress. I saw it snap like that way. So yeah, this is really gonna be like, you have to find the one little pixel spot where it will properly snap. Because as you can see, it will go that way, but then it just immediately wants to go that way. So I'm gonna try. I really wish you could change directions a little bit easier while crawling. Theoretically, that will actually work, um, but it is gonna take a while to get the right tiny little spot, I think. I wonder if I can get it to snap from the bottom. Yes, I did just do that twice, like an idiot. Oops, that wasn't what I wanted at all. Alright. So we're gonna... Can I get you to go from the bottom? If this works, I'm seriously gonna kick myself for being an idiot. Ooh, ooh, was that it? Because as you can see, it wants to go everywhere except the actual snap point. Sometimes if you go far enough away... But it also really, really wants to snap to the hatch frame, which is aggravating. Let me see. Whoa. Oh, maybe we can get this one. Come on. You know you want to. Like, it is snapping literally everywhere except there. What I might have to do is take the hatch frame back out and actually just take that whole ceiling out and see if maybe just not having it there will help with the snap points. 'Cause this is just a little bit ridiculous. Like, this should not even be a thing. Game, please stop lagging. I will say though, playing on single player, I never noticed how laggy the server was until I started spending a lot of time on single player, and now I realize that our server is super duper laggy and it's horrible. Even though I have a really low ping, it's just the game. So let's see, will this work? Getting a little bit dizzy. This should work. Why is it not working? Like, it will not snap to this foundation for no reason whatsoever. Do I need to take the wall down? I'll take the wall down if I have to, once I find the hatch frame. Alright, so what we're gonna do is take the wall down and see if maybe that was doing some weird obstruction thing. See, that's the really weird thing about this whole thing. Now will you work? Like, there's literally no reason why this should be giving me trouble right now. Aside from the fact that it's right on the edge of this wall, and there would be no way to snap it if that wall wasn't there. Not a wall, ceiling. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm really getting confused with all of this confusingness. Alright, well, I don't want to sit here and make you guys sit through like another half hour of me messing around with something really aggravating, but at least we made some pretty good progress. For now, like I said, I'm probably gonna end up having to do something about this because this is really getting ridiculous. All I want is a little tower. I mean, we can do a square one. I just figured a circle one would look cool. Yeah, let me go up here a little bit so we can get a nice little view. See, because that kind of mirrors it. So it would be a tower, and it would just look cool. But that's only when the system itself decides that it wants to cooperate. But anyways, I might end up filling this whole space with these railings just to make it look like big windows or something. And then we've got these two walls that are just going to be there. But that's basically the plan for right now, is that I'm just going to try to get this to work. I'm glad I managed to get the gates snapped without too much of a problem, but the fact that this is now giving me trouble for no reason whatsoever is starting to irritate me. So I'm going to work on that for the next episode, and hopefully we'll have something to report. I'm going to try to actually finish this tower off camera, hopefully, so then we can see the finished product. The only way that I wouldn't do that is if I encounter another weird building issue like that railing down there that I feel merits a demonstration of how to get around that particular issue. But I feel like this has run on long enough, and I hadn't intended on filming this part, which is why it's kind of messy and not really together at all, since I hadn't planned on it. But that's the progress that we've got so far. I think it's looking pretty good. I'm still 50-50 on whether I want to invest the effort into actually painting this whole thing when we're done. But I think I'm going to wait and see if I can actually get everything to work the way that I want it to before I go making these kinds of decisions. Because as you can see, me making design decisions usually ends up fairly poorly. Just because things happen and nothing goes according to plan. That's ARK. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you all in the next episode.